Hi, everybody, and welcome to Everyday Hockey, Episode 6.
Hey, Greg, it's Dale. How's it going?
It's good. I've flown out from the far east to the middle of Alberta.
You know, the weather's been actually pretty good the last couple of days, but I hear we're going to be in for another deep freeze. I don't know if that is going to be in central Alberta or not.
Okay, well, hopefully not, but I guess I have to experience winter at some point. Actually, Nova Scotia's been pretty cool and snowy as well. So while I was away, my wife had to do the shoveling. So I think that's about as perfect as you can get. Now she knows what I go through. Anyway, today on the podcast, folks, we're going to discuss the end of the Olympics. Oh, that was difficult, but we're going to talk about ice. And I think, that's an interesting category of topics because so much goes into the ice that we skate on, the ice that we, live and die on as far as hockey goes. And there's some interesting stories I'm sure that you have. And I managed to talk to an ice artist, my brother-in-law Brian, who happens to drive Zamboni here in the town of Rocky Mountain House, Alberta.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, looking forward to hearing his take on it.
We'll do that, but let's get to the Olympics first.
I just wanted to introduce our new sponsor because we're not used to this. Wanted to thank Angus McMillan of ASAP Windows and Doors. So if you need new windows and doors, reach out to Angus at asapwindows.ca for special everyday hockey pricing. So wow. Angus, thank you very much.
Angus, we appreciate you getting on board with the podcast, and of course we encourage everybody to hit that subscribe button. I'm not sure what it does, but if you hit the subscribe button, apparently that's good. And if you want to leave us comments, we're into that as well. We'll get an opportunity to get some feedback from people. Gosh, I'm going to have more time on my hands now that the Olympics are over because I spent a fair bit of time watching. But you know what? Canada came out. We did pretty darn good when you consider the size of our country and the opportunities that we had to medal. A lot of them came through. So we had 21 medals altogether, 5 gold, 7 silver, 9 bronze, 5 in freestyle skiing, 5 in short tracks speed skating, 5 in long track speed skating, 2 in curling, 1 in snowboarding, 1 in figure skating, and then 2 silver medals in hockey. Not the color we wanted, but for gosh sakes, what about entertaining hockey?
It was great. Like the women's game was really good. Like for Team Canada to come out like that after, I know all those exhibition games they played against the US where they got beat badly. And then even their preliminary round game, I think they lost 5-0. And for them to show up the way they showed up and to take it to like basically 2 minutes left where the US tied it with an goalie pulled, incredible. And then good goals. I mean the overtime winner was a good goal too, and it's too bad that's kind of the way the puck bounces sometimes. And similar.
I think one of the things with that, similar situation with the men. But the thing about the battle with the U.S. is it doesn't end. And you know what? They beat us this time. We'll use that as fodder to get us going for the next time.
Well, I was actually thinking about it, like, with Russia right now banned from the Olympic Games, those guys used to be our number one rival. And
right.
And it would be really interesting to see them, what they would do in the mix, like getting in the mix, because if Canada or the US had to play them in the semifinals, there's a wild card. I mean, I think that like the Russians have the best goaltenders in the world. Sorokin right now with the Islanders, Vasilevsky, Bobrovsky, you name them. And I mean, like they've got a lot of good offensive talent and stuff. And it would be interesting to see, but I mean, the political ramifications right now, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but
no, definitely not.
But it's interesting because, this is I think it's 40 years ago that the US won their last gold medal. And, Canada's had some amazing rivalry games against the Russians in between that time too. So I mean, you know what? Teams come and go, but Canada continues to stand strong, and I don't expect anything less in the next Olympics.
Well, and even when you look at who scored the overtime winner for the U.S., I mean that's the young guns, right? The young guns. We look at the Hughes brothers, and then you look at Celebrini, and you say, well, you know what? The future of hockey on both sides of the border is going to continue to be the same rivalry that over the last 20 years, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, that's right. Like I know Matthew Schaefer from the Islanders is. I'm expecting him in the next 5 years to become probably the best defenseman in the world. The thing is, too, is I've noticed Gavin McKenna now down in the NCAA at Penn State. He's really picked his game up. Like he's playing so well right now as the games are getting, I think, towards the playoffs. They're not quite in their Frozen Four tournament or whatever yet. He has picked his game up in a major way to the point where now I think he's going to be the number one draft pick again. Like you look at the projected draft picks for this year, the top three guys are him and Verhoff, kid from Fort Saskatchewan, and then kid from Sweden. So yeah, I think the future is bright for Canada. I think men's and women's teams, we just got to start kind of bringing the young talent up.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think, and that's anytime you go through an Olympics and you don't win the gold medal, then it's time for soul searching. And I think hopefully those who are in charge will begin to filter in some of those young people who need the experience and need the opportunity, and I'm sure they'll shine just like the current group did. And you know what? Hey, winning an Olympic medal is really hard. And
Right.
and I know that especially with the men's team, my gosh, we were one shot away from not even making it to the playoffs, right?
That's right.
One
That's
shot
right.
away, one shot away, and that's a credit to all these other countries that have brought their game up. And let's face it, they're all playing in the best league in the world, right? Especially with the men, right? They're playing in the best league in the world. The women the same way with this PWHL now. And so what's the difference in the game? Is it motivation? Is it heart? Is it talent? It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I know that you're a Winnipeg Jet fan, and I was thinking about like my hat goes off to Connor Hellebuck for how well he played and coming up as clutch as he did. And I think one thing I have a lot of respect for him because just the way he handles himself and the way he's really taken to the community in Winnipeg. And I think if they had a video tribute for him or some kind of tribute before their next home game, that would be a good thing.
Well, Winnipeg has a bit of a tradition of doing a video tribute to important moments in players' lives, and I think for that reason, along with many other reasons, players who move to Winnipeg and play there have a real connection with the team and the community. And Hellebuck, I've watched him play over the last few years, and I said to my wife, I said, selfishly, I was hoping to see one of the Hellebucks that I've seen in the past.
Yeah.
We ended up getting the hot Hellebuck, and I was like, oh no, okay, this is going to be a real challenge, right? And so when you're saving pucks by spinning around and having them bounce off the shaft of your goalie stick, you're in the zone. And you know what? One thing that happened after the game, and I'm going to say this with full respect to many of the players on the teams. Of course, I look at some of the guys on the American side, and I go, they do grate me the wrong way. Kachuk, Kachuk. Anyway, but there are some good things that happened there. For example, to do the team photo post game with Johnny Gaudreau's jersey featured prominently in the center of the picture, along with his son. I mean, that was a really nice tribute to that family, and I think that's hats off to anybody who helped make that decision, because that was really a classy move.
That was a good move. Yeah.
On the opposite side, of course, would be, partying with the, the director of the FBI
Yeah.
afterwards. Like what is that?
I don't know. Did you
Oh
see
my gosh.
Ash Patel really down that beer? Like it's like I was thinking, wow, that guy must be he could probably shotgun a few really he probably has in his time. He looked like he's a real partier.
Oh
But
yeah, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah, but I know that you'd never see J. Edgar Hoover doing
Well,
anything like that.
the other thing is, do you know who the head of the RCMP is, Dale?
No idea.
No, no idea. And that's perfect. That's exactly the way it should be. And if the head of the RCMP showed up in Italy and wanted to party with the Canadians had they won the gold medal, nobody would have put up with that. It's like,
Oh, I know.
Crosby would have taken a stick and said, "Okay, I'm going to sign it. Now I want you to leave the room. Go away. What part did you have in this? Nothing." And so, that kind of thing. You go, well, that speaks volumes about the culture that they have, and that's what we don't want. So, I mean, you know what? If for no other reason, it shows us what we don't want to be, and it gives an example of what not.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know that there was some media people around hockey. I didn't like Frank Saravalli, for example. I didn't like some of his takes. He showed no respect to Canada. In fact, he was dissing Canada during the celebrations, and it's kind of like, well, you know what? You're a prominent podcaster and broadcaster in Canada. I hear him. He's on 2 or 3 radio stations in Edmonton, and they're all sponsored. And it's kind of like, really? Like you're dissing us? Like just
Yeah,
win and leave it.
yeah, yeah. Be classy about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Act like you've been there, even if you haven't for 20 years or whatever it has been.
Same thing with that guy from Barstool Sports,
Hmm.
Dave Portnoy, the guy who does the pizza thing. He does the pizza ratings thing. For some reason, he got it in his head that he had to diss Canada's hockey team by also dissing our Team Jacobs men's curling team by
Oh yeah,
saying
yeah.
calling us cheats.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah. I kind of hope maybe I'd love to know if Dave's going to come up and do a pizza review up in Canada somewhere, maybe in Alberta and Edmonton. I'd love to have a chat with him. That'd be kind of cool.
A hockey
Yeah,
chat, eh?
yeah, it'd be good. It'd be a nice chat. I'd love to talk to him. Yeah, what a it's like opportunist and just looking for clicks. Hey,
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're finished with the Olympics now, and I think it was a good one for Canada. And I think, as far as hockey goes, what's up next? Well, we've got that World Cup of Hockey coming up, and it was 8 teams involved in that, and that's going to be, another battle. And so we've got so much to look forward to. Now let's look back a little bit, Dale. I want you to go back, way back. Oh my gosh, when you were a little kid, tell me about your first experience with ice making.
yeah, I we had natural ice arena in Vermilion where I grew up
Hmm.
downtown, and it was the main arena for many years, and I just remember skating on it and playing on it, and then we had to scrape it after, and
Yeah.
but it was always like it was cold in there. It was cold,
Yeah.
and I remember sometimes in Lloyd we'd play in Lloyd, and we'd play at the old Archie Miller Arena, and that place was really cold, and they called that the Archie Chiller Arena. And but I know one thing about ice. I remember this really well. In elementary school, in grade 6, we had a teacher named Mr. Wood who would make curling ice, and we'd have
Mm,
many curling rocks, and it was called jam can curling,
okay.
and we'd actually have bonspiels. And I remember in grade 6, my team with Wes Green and I forget who else was on it. We made it to the final, and we made it actually into a 3-way tie for first. So the skips had to shoot a one-off, like
Oh boy.
one shot to win it all. Closest wins. And one of our classmates, Jamie Chalman, his hit a bump and rolled right onto the button.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So that I know, and that was obviously, I mean, that was with the heaving of warm weather, cold weather on an outdoor rink.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
know the details of ice and how important it is.
yeah.
That's,
How important
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Now, my recollection of ice when I was a kid, and I moved to Saskatchewan when I was 11 years old, and I remember, the rink was obviously sort of a center point of action in this small town I was living in. And again, we had a barrel flutter, so no Zamboni. And the rink guy would be, like a young 20-year-old guy or whatever who's, living in town, and he would be given the job of the rink maintenance guy for the year. And I just remember that it was such a big job, and it was took a lot of work, right? I mean, when you did the barrel flutter, you had to put on skates, then you had to go fill it up, then you had to make sure that the cloth wasn't frozen, then you had to get it out on the ice, then you had to scrape. If you were there by yourself, you might have to scrape that entire arena by yourself with this, just a metal scraper, and then go out and flood the whole ice. The rink rats from the town, all the young kids would be out there scraping the ice and then shoveling it out at the end, through a little hole at the end of the rink. And yeah, when I talk about cold, oh my gosh. Dale, I remember getting home like 3 or 4 hours after a game. My feet were still frozen. Like, what?
I I heard a story of the old defenseman for the Philadelphia Flyers, Moose Dupont,
Yeah.
growing up in Quebec. Apparently, he used to put pepper on his feet. Yeah, just to try and keep anything to try and keep him warm.
Well, actually, I remember a sort of an era there where all of a sudden there was some kind of spray that you could get, and if you sprayed it on your feet, apparently it warmed them up. And so it was bizarre because the whole basement of the rink would smell like this spray stuff that guys were spraying on their feet. And of course, I was one of the poor kids in town, so I didn't have access to spray. But I remember I think one of my buddies had a can of that stuff, and I sprayed it on my feet. And I'm sure all it was some kind of alcohol that evaporated right away, but it made your feet feel warm for a little bit, and like that was a thing.
Oh man.
But back to the ice. Back to the ice. What I remember also was when Zambonis first started, it was really just a tractor with an ice machine on the back of it.
Yes.
And so they'd fire this thing up and it'd be like a diesel tractor inside the ring.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I remember
do
the
you remember that?
Zamboni drivers or the tractor drivers in my hometown, like I think Ross Beecroft and Jack Winters, and they were cool guys. They were characters too, and they'd always go, "Hey, look, don't get on the ice until it's done," because guys would get on there and start shooting pucks around, and the Zamboni drivers like, "Look, I'm not going to get hit in the head with a puck here, kid." But everybody's so anxious to get on there because you can't wait.
Yeah. But I mean, you think about the diesel fumes that were floating in the air, and then you go into the lobby, and people were smoking like it was like there's no tomorrow. So for me, if I smell diesel exhaust and cigarettes, it takes me back to my early rink days.
A little bit of diesel, yeah, a little bit of diesel in the air and a little bit of export A, and
we all lost 2 or 3 points off our IQ, but which and who knows, maybe that explains the Kachucks.
that's ideal.
I'm in Rocky Mountain House, about 45 minutes west of Red Deer. This is central Alberta. It's referendum country, Dale. So I started off by asking my brother-in-law Brian where his loyalties lie. Olympia or Zamboni?
Olympians are great for ice maintenance and they get the job done, but I think they leave a little more of a mess at the gate. The Zamboni is better at finessing the ice. If I was doing nothing but figure skating ice, I'd recommend the Zamboni over Oli any day.
So there's a difference in...
Yeah, and you want it as clean as and glassy as you can get it for the most part, especially for the competitions.
How long have you been running Zamboni for?
12 and a half years. I've been here for just about 14 years, but I started off as an attendant cleaning and stuff.
Burned a hole in the ice, have you?
I have. but that's usually a case of you stopping with a water leakage problem. Doesn't take long for it to burn a hole.
So did that stop the game that you were?
No, you can go out there and patch it as best you can. It usually takes till the end of the night, though, to get it really cleaned up as best you can. And then even then, it's not perfect. It depends on how deep the burn goes. But that's a case of hot water dripping out. Yeah, ideally, it should be at 1.25 inches. But I'm happy with anything even up to 1.5. It's just I don't want it to go over that if I can help it. Your corners will always have a tendency to build up.
Yeah, Zamboni nightmares.
I've had nightmares where all of a sudden there is no ice or the ice disappears. The ice is half ice, half dirt. Weird shit. Weird stuff. Yeah, it definitely happens.
What's the weirdest thing that you found in a dressing room after a game was over?
Well, I have not seen any piles of poo. People have. Kids have actually crapped in those rooms on purpose. I don't know. I've seen girls leave pants behind in the change room. Strange stuff like that, I guess.
What's your worst part? What's your favorite part of the job?
My worst experience is when the other machine broke down several years ago, and the timing belt broke on it. So it was in the middle of a AA Tigers game. So these guys are out of Sylvan Lake, and flooding just started to flood. The machine conked out because the belt broke. I disabled the drive system on it, which meant I had to get under there to do that. Jacked up the conditioner because there's a way to do that mechanically. Guys started pushing. I said, no, I'm going to go get the other machine and we're going to tow it off. So we towed it off. So that was probably one of my worst experiences.
What's your favorite part of the job?
I don't know. Just getting the ice nice and polished up and looking good at the end of the night as best I can, because at the end of the night you go out there, you can do your extra flooding and clean it up.
You don't like to work under pressure?
Under pressure is okay, but you're running back and forth. You're trying to let your coaches know what's happening. Hey, I got to come over here and flood this first because I got U18s here. You guys are only U13s or 15s or whatever. They're going to take priority. You guys are so close timing-wise. I have to do this one first. I'm sorry I'm going to be, 10 minutes late or whatever, but I will get over here as quick as I can. And they usually understand. Once you tell them that in advance, they're good with it. If you don't tell them what's going on, then they're not happy. And I don't believe in just telling the refs. I go straight to the coaches on that one. So, but that's the sort of thing you start monitoring. You're looking, okay, 5 minutes left over here, 4 or 5 minutes over here. I got to go talk to these guys. I know these big boys take precedence.
How much of the year do you actually make ice for?
We're basically open. I mean, this year we started August the 4th already. We're up and running. Yeah, and now we're going to be done at the end of March. Traditionally, all is done by April, because what happens in April, this town, everybody wants to go out and play baseball and stuff, so they're not here for the hockey anymore. There's no spring hockey. We're not like the cities. We have this guy who comes in from Vernon, BC, that does our boards. He cleans the boards with his tractor. He's got a couple of brushes on it and uses a cleansing agent as well, and that's how he cleans the boards to get the puck marks off. He can do it all in one day, in a matter of hours. He can probably get most of it done in one morning, actually. So it's a good deal for us. I think it's about 18,000 square feet, and the other one's about 16,000 square feet.
Yeah.
It's a lot of boards. It's much easier just to for me to do the glass, get the puck marks off, not a big deal. But when there's puck marks on the whiteboard, it's a different game. They take care of us pretty good. We get paid for sick days, and I'm sure they do better in the cities and stuff like that. But I'm not sure about Alberta in general. But in BC, yeah, there'd be better money in it. Mind you, those boys in BC, from what I see, they don't do the stuff we do. Like, I do spend some time underneath this machine, as well as other little fix-its. I do service on it. Those guys I see running around Abbotsford and stuff, they're wearing their uniforms and their suits, and they just do the flood, and that's as far as that goes. When I'm out there, I'm probably doing 7-8 kilometers an hour, maybe. The top speed on these things is about 15, 16, I believe, is the magic number. That's too fast for the ice, because you will leave waves out there if this thing starts to bounce at all, because any amount of deformation in the ice, or the ice gives underneath it, it will bounce a little bit and make it worse.
You can actually make a wave on the ice.
You can actually make it a little bit wavy. I haven't noticed it with this one so much, but I have with the Zamboni before. Okay, I gotta go dump this. I'm gonna rush over and do the other side as soon as I get the water on board that I need. This is what back-to-backs are like for us. And that's one of the hazards of twin rinks. It's not a hazard so much as you get used to it, but
Dump the snow out of the machine before he does the other ring.
probably your only chance to capture this action. Because I know I'm going back out right away. Get my wash water, flood water going here. This is about as quick as it gets.
So you put hot water into it, out of a hot water.
And traditionally, it's always been about the hot water.
Yeah.
Cold water doesn't usually work because the thing is, the water molecules with hot water are smaller than the cold water molecules.
Okay.
So it freezes faster,
Yeah.
in theory.
So you put hot water into the machine, but is there also a heater on there that keeps the water hot?
No, there's basically almost 900 liters of water in that tank, so it'll stay hot for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
And we start with about 160 degree water as it is,
Yeah.
like 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So much of what we deal with here is still spoken in the imperial system, not the kind of water you want to bathe with.
No, you're not sitting
It's
in
a
that
bit
in a hot
extreme.
tub.
So usually I'm just going to see where my water's at. Because I could cheat on this. I don't need an entire full tank, but I'm already up to this level. So if I run it for another 2 minutes max, I know I've got plenty of water to do that side. On this side, I can get away with about 60 seconds worth. But here I need basically 2 minutes to get the job done over there.
A little bit bigger rink.
Yeah, it is bigger. That other one is 200 feet long over there by 90 feet wide, whereas this one's 190 by, I'm not sure the exact width anymore. I'm going to say 88 feet. It's as old as I am. It goes back to 1961. This was finished in 98 on the other side. Oh, I got more than enough. My wash water, that's my flood water. This is my wash water. Cold water only. It just basically go out there, it fills in the ruts and cleans up the little bit of dirt that might be out there. And now I can go pop my gates if they're not already open.
It's like positioning the nets is very important. Getting exactly the right spot.
Luckily for them, the game doesn't start for about another 20 minutes yet. It happens because it's cold just outside the rink on that initial concrete. We get a buildup right away.
Oh, yeah.
And it becomes treacherous because people have to walk through there. And I don't like that when it gets like that. Okay. I wear ice cleats all the time because I'm not confident on the ice. I've slipped a few times and cracked my head at least once. So I wear cleats for safety's sake. Okay.
So I learned a few things from Brian. It's weird to leave your pants in the dressing room. Hot water is very important because it freezes faster than cold. If you drive the Zamboni too fast, it can leave waves on the ice. That's the most important one. It explains why I didn't skate very well when I was playing rec hockey. Frickin' speed demon Zamboni drivers. There was obviously waves on the ice, and that's why I was such a terrible skater, Dale.
I don't remember you being a bad skater when we formed that line up in wherever Turtle Lake, Saskatchewan for Team CKSA. I thought that went pretty well.
That was back in my prime. Man, I'd have some trouble nowadays, but I'm going to try and get back into it. Just before we go here, you've started a little bit more hockey, Dale. You just told me that you were skating. Was it today? Earlier today?
Yeah, I was. I got hurt in a car accident, so I took 3 years off, and I decided I'm going to come back. And well, thankfully, my friend Greg Boggs, who I played junior B with, he invited me to come out to Sherwood Park and also to Stony Plains. So it's been great, but I realized something. I got lit up really badly at the Glen Hall Arena there in Stony Plain last Friday.
Oh yeah, and that's fodder for a future episode. But
yeah. But I'll tell you something. I sat there and I'm like, okay, it's either get in shape or quit. So at the age of 61, because I could quit, and I'm like, no, I'm not. So I hit the gym. And I hit the gym yesterday, and I was doing leg lifts and stuff and working on my legs, and I sure noticed a difference in net today.
Oh, well, there you go.
So,
there you go. That's all. Stay active, everybody.
I even made a Connor Hellebuck style save where it should have been a goal, and I reached my stick out and Somehow got it.
That's perfect. Okay, thanks everybody for listening to episode 6 of Everyday Hockey. I'd like to thank Brian for his contribution to the program today and for introducing the word shit to our podcast. Well, there goes our child-friendly status, Dale. But I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure what actually happens, but hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment, or if you would like to send us a more private message, everydayhockeypodcast@gmail.com. That's our email address. And if you'd like to see Brian in action, drive the Olympia, not the Zamboni, but the Olympia. Our good friend Everett A. Hockey has posted some pics and a video on his Facebook page. We'll put a link in the comments, and shout out to our sponsor, Dale.
Yeah, thank you to Angus McMillan at ASAP Windows and Doors, and be sure to reach out to Angus. Ask about the special everyday hockey pricing. Angus, thank you, man.
Dale, it's been a good one. Let's get together again next week.
Looking forward to it.
You've been listening to Everyday Hockey. Subscribe, leave us a comment, prove you're out there for gosh sakes. You want to be a guest on our show? Well, reach out to us, everydayhockeypodcast@gmail.com.